Under the instruction of Master Abe Ingram, he received his black belt. After the passing of Master Ingram, his thirst for knowledge continued with the instruction in Show Rin Ru, under the instruction of Master Henry Wilson. After a year and a half with Master Wilson, he and his family moved to the Park Heights community. There, he was introduced to Dr. Ted Gwynn. Grandmaster Jackson studied under Dr. Gwynn and was able to experiment with Okinawa weaponry. 2 years later, he began developing the system of MOV. This system was met with skepticism from his peers because of its non-traditional form of martial arts. However, he was not discouraged. Grandmaster Jackson recognized in order to complete the system of MOV, 10 katas were needed to guide students from beginner to advanced levels in sparring, katas, and weaponry. After 2 years of research, he developed 9 katas essential in understanding the discipline and spiritual demand it takes to achieve inner peace and wisdom. He was then ready to share it with the world. In 1980, he was approached by Franklin Smith to train his son and himself. After relentless pressure from Mr. Smith, now Master Smith, he agreed to take them on as students. 2 students quickly grew into 4 students, and 4 students quickly grew into 8 students. In 1 month's time, he had 10 students who trained with him 6 days a week. Having outgrown his basement, where instruction and training took place, he sought out buildings in the West Baltimore area. 2 months later, Grandmaster Jackson became the founder and chief instructor of the Warlord Academy of Martial Arts. The Academy has experienced much success at national and local tournaments, and its good sportsmanship and skills quickly gained popularity. As a result, other schools were formed to accommodate many who had become interested in learning the MOV system of martial arts. I'm sorry, I forgot. I would like to present to you all right now our Grandmaster, Gerald A. Jackson.
Thank you. How many of you ever taken martial arts before? Raise your hand, please. Just about most of the people in the room. That's why I like that. What you're about to see today are some very dynamic young people training very hard for you guys. Okay, you have some of the top ranked martial artists in the country, the Warlord Academy of Martial Arts. When I created MOV has 5 principles that will be explained to you later. You will probably learn more about martial arts than you ever knew before after tonight. That's our goal. I want to thank Ms. Carol Dyson for inviting us here, and hopefully she'll invite us back. At this moment, I'd like to introduce you to my instructor, Professor Ted Gwynn.
Fellow martial artists in this room and former martial artists in this room, if you've been studying anywhere in this region, I know you're instructors. I came along with, pioneered along with Riley Hawkins from the Avengers. With the exception of myself and a few other people, I never studied with Riley. I studied in Korea, I studied in Okinawa. The martial art itself is just a discipline. The discipline of the martial art, you say, what is that? Never use what you know in anger. After you put all that together, and all that training, and all that dedication, and all that together, you never use it in anger. You always use it to defend those who can't defend themselves and your family, but never using it in anger. So those principles are there. If you take these young folk and some of these old folk over here, and you put collectively those years together of discipline from the martial science, you'll find that these principles hold true right through school, the academics, through home, and everything else, because we require that. The Warlord Martial Art Academy requires that. I was privileged and fortunate to have Gerald as a student. He's still a great student and a great teacher. I never wanted him to be as good as me. I wanted him to be better. So he came up with the system. It's not my system, it's his. Even though I studied in Oregon. And we were talking about the Okinawan weapons. The samurai, the reason why the Warlord Martial Academy uses samurai as a sign is because they were dedicated warriors. And we teach 7 of the samurai weapons. But a little footnote to that, those weapons originated in North Africa. Everything you see in the martial art movies that started out, you think in Japan, no, in Okinawa, no. The sai came from Egypt. Your stick weapons came from Morocco in the north, the bladed weapons came from the north. And on the west coast, your grappling skills came from. We taught them, and they came back and taught us. But it all originated in the motherland. Not just because of Kwanzaa people, that's fact. All of the bladed weapons generally came from North Africa, but if you look at the Egyptians' drawings, you'll see the sai, which is thought to be an Okinawan farm tool, which it is. But we had it, we taught it to them. And we gave it to them, you know, so they could use it to farm, what they needed it for. And then they had to fight against the warriors and the warlords with those same farming implements. The boat oar, the staff, which is one of the oldest weapons, other than a rock. A stick and a rock is two of the oldest weapons you ever had. And the samurai, the various samurai swords, the katana, the wakizashi, and the soto. But without, you know, I could go on for hours about it because I love what we did and how we brought it back to the people that it, again, we brought it back to our own people. You'll find a lot of folk want to say, well, I started, karate started in 1930. I'll say no more about it. And you know how old motherland is.
At this time, I want to introduce who's second in command down at the school, which is Master Rocky Smith. He's the gentleman who was instrumental in actually pushing me out forward to bring the program to the public. I didn't want to teach. And we all know when you don't want to do something, God has a way of saying, you know what? It's not about what you want to do. So, Sensei Rocky.
Hello, everybody. Master Rocky Smith. And what I first like to do is describe our ranks. In our style, Mukwando, we have 5 belt levels. It's white, green, yellow, brown, and black. And at each level, it has a meaning. So I'll bring each one out at a time. These are different levels. Okay, we have Devon Kimbrough. He's a white belt, and what his belt teaches is discipline. Josh Cooper, his belt is yellow, and what he learns at this belt level is respect. We have Alex Kimbrough, brother, sister. She's a green belt, and what this teaches is control. Then we have Ty Bray Snell. He's a brown belt, and this teaches courage. And last we have Jordan Smith, my son. He's a black belt, and what this teaches is wisdom and knowledge. The black belt, we have animal symbols for each belt. Black belt is dragon. Brown belt is wolf. Green belt, Mustang. Yellow belt, oh, I'm sorry, let me go back and do this again. Green belt is wolf. Brown belt's tiger. Yellow belt, Mustang. And white belt is grasshopper. So these are all our ranks right here. Nature, thank you.